All right, I want to go really quickly over the process of getting your conceptual mass into Revit to print. So you've been working on this conceptual mass, and what you want to do is open up a new project. So go to File, New Project, and browse to the zip file that you downloaded for this class. So I'm just going to go grab that guy, and you're going to open up the generic template. It might be 24, it might be 23, it doesn't really matter. Just open up that generic template, and it's going to create a new project, which is great. So don't change any of this, just click OK, and it's going to open up a blank project. So what we want to do is take this guy and put it into this guy. So first thing I'll do for the project is I'll save it because it just has a random project name. So I'll just go to File and Save. And I'm going to name it A01-1 project and just click Save. And I have one there, but I'll just override it. You probably don't. And then what I want to do is go to my site plan because that's where I want to insert this thing. It's the easiest way and place to insert it. So I'm going to double click in my project browser under Site, under Floor Plans. And it opened up another view, and you can see it stacking these views here. I only want the site from my project, my new project, and the 3D view from my family open. So I'm going to close this Z open. So I just have these two tabs. Then I'm going to go back to my family, and I am going to load into project. So I'm going to load this family into the project. So if I left click on this load into project, it will bring it into this project, and it's going to turn on the mass visibility for us because it knows it's a mass. So thank you, Revit. If I hit close, it will come in stuck to my cursor. And I'm just going to left click at the center, that little blue guy, and place it and hit escape a couple of times. Now Revit has actually placed this inside this project. So if I come down to the families and expand the families and go down to the masses, you'll see that tower twist in here. Even if I delete this, it's still available to me here. So I can go to the component and find it in the pull down here, right? And it will place it again. Or again, if I delete it accidentally or something happens to it, I can come in and drag this guy out, okay? One thing you want to be sure of before you start putting more copies of it in, if you're doing that and it's not showing up, make sure that you go to the Massing and Site tab and turn on your Show Mass, right? So make sure that this Show Mass is on, it will allow you to see your masses, okay? All right, so once you get to here, you can print. So if I go now up in my project browser to my sheets, and I go to the form sheet, you will see your project come in. And so you can print it as is right now. Don't worry about the box. If it's filling the screen and pretty centered, this is fine. If you want to update it, you can double click here on the view, and it will activate that internal view. So if you double click outside the view, it activates the sheet. If you double click inside the box, it'll turn on that view. And you can actually go to this navigation wheel and press pan, and if you wanted to center it, it won't zoom this view because this view is a parallel view. It's actually, the size of it is controlled by the scale here. So I'm just going to close this guy. I mean, you could orbit, all this stuff you could kind of do if you wanted to change the way that it was looking, but whatever's most descriptive. You just want it centered and taking up most of the sheet, right? If you want to resize it, the thing that's controlling the size of it, so let's say you printed this. Let's print this. So I'm just going to go to Control P and close that guy, and I'm going to pick the Microsoft PDF print, and I'm going to go to the setup, and I'm going to offset it from corner, zoom 100%. I'm going to set it to portrait, and I'm going to make sure that the scope boxes, the crop boundaries, and the hide these four are checked, and click OK. And then I want current window selected, and I'll preview that. And you should get that. And then you just go to print, and click OK and save it, right? So I'll save this as A1-1, A1-101, because that's the first one, right? And save that, and now it's going to print that out. Now, if I come in here and pick this and I flip it out, so I've activated the view, I pick the mass, and I come over here and flip it out for another version. Let's say it's a very small version, right? Like this one's much smaller, but I want it to be bigger on the sheet, right? So I can select the view and change this guy to a larger scale. So now it's bigger. The only thing is that now this box is a little big. Like let's say I move it and now I've got this big box outside and I want that sort of crop area to be smaller. I can double click on that and pick this crop area and move it in with these blue dots. The only thing you have to be sure of is that if you now switch this guy out for the larger one, right, and try to reprint it, it's going to be too big, right? Because you're going to have to rescale it back down to 1/16 of an inch. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense. And then you can come in here and Control P this one, right, and click OK, because you've already kind of set it up here. Again, making sure it's portrait, offset from corner, zoom 100%. Click OK, and then click OK here, close that, and then I'll name this A102, right, and save. Okay, so that's printing those two. I'll do another quick video about getting your Rhino file in and printing it. I guess briefly we can take a look at the desktop and what's coming up, for this guy. So if we come in and take a look at this one, there it is, right? And this one, there it is. These little white lines, very strange.